dear student, myself Pawan Mankade going to deliver a lecture on topic antihypertensive drug part 2. In previous lecture, we have discussed regarding what do you mean by hypertension, classification of hypertension and drug acting on renin-angiotensin system. Today we discuss regarding the other drugs. First drug is category of drug, it is the calcium channel blocker drug. Calcium channel blocker are another class of first line antihypertensive drug. These are classified into the subgroups dihydropyridine. It is a chemical classification. Example are amlodipine, nifedipine. Next one it is the phenylalkylamine. Example verapamil. And benzothiazepine. Example is diltiazem. Are equally efficacious antihypertensive drug. They lower the blood pressure by decreasing peripheral resistance because it causes vasodilation and decrease in force of contraction. It decreases the peripheral resistance without compromising the cardiac output. The common property of all three subclasses of calcium channel blocker is to inhibit calcium mediated slow channel component of action potential in smooth muscle cells. Now see the first diagrammatic representation. This is the action potential in the heart. Now before you start how the drug is act, you must know about the action potential. So this is the resting membrane potential, this is the membrane potential, and the stimulus, when there is a stimulation is occur, then there is a entry of sodium ion at the phase 0 and it causes the depolarization, and due to that the it increases this type of waves, this type of action phases you have to see. Then after that it causes the inactivation of the sodium channel, and due to that it causes the partial repolarization called as the phase 1. Now this one it is very important in the action of calcium channel. Now this calcium channel blocker drug it act on the this phase called as the phase 2 phase, in which the slow inward calcium channel it is entered, and due to that it causes the contraction, excitation contraction coupling, and the force of contraction it is increases. So this is the plateau phase, means it is the slow channel calcium channel it is activated and excitation contraction is occur. Now all the calcium channel drug are inhibit this phase 2, means it inhibit the slow inward calcium channel, and due to that it inhibit the contraction of heart muscle, and it due to that inhibition of contraction muscle it causes the relaxation of the smooth muscle. Now in the phase 3 it causes the repolarization by opening the potassium channel. So simply in the mechanism you have to simply draw this diagram, and you have to inhibit this phase 2, means you have to inhibit this calcium channel, and due to that the contraction it is inhibited and it causes the smooth muscle relaxation, and hence these two action you have seen. There is a smooth muscle, especially vascular relaxation, and second one it is the negative chronotropic. Chronotropic means it is the heart rate, means negative chronotropic means decrease in heart rate. Inotropic means decrease in the force of contraction, and dromotropic means it is the conduction from SA node to the AV node called as the dromotropic. So all these calcium channel drug are negative chronotropic, inotropic, and the dromotropic action on the heart. Other advantages of calcium channel blocker are no impairment of physical work capacity, no sedation or other CNS effect, cerebral perfusion is maintained, not contraindicated in asthma, such as beta blocker are contraindicated in asthma. You can give the alternative drug calcium channel blocker drug. So this drug calcium channel blocker is not contraindicated in asthma. So in asthma patient you can give the calcium channel blocker drug. Also in the angina patient. Do not impair renal perfusion. Do not affect male sexual function, such as alpha blocker or beta blocker drug does. No deleterious effect on plasma lipid profile, uric acid level, and electrolyte balance. Now again see this is the mechanism action of calcium channel blocker. This is the calcium channel. This is the entry of calcium channel. Now what happen when this calcium channel calcium channel blocker drug block the influx of calcium channel into the vascular smooth muscle cell or the myocardial cells, and due to that it causes the decrease in the muscle contraction. After that decrease in the muscle contraction in the heart, it causes reduced cardiac contractility, and due to that it reduces the cardiac output, and due to that it decreases the blood pressure. Now in the blood vessel, due to that decrease in muscular contraction, it causes reduced vasoconstriction, and due to that of the vasoconstriction it reduces the total peripheral resistance, and hence it reduces the blood pressure. So simply blood pressure is due to the cardiac output into peripheral resistance, and hence this calcium channel reduces both cardiac output and the total peripheral resistance, and hence there is a reduction in the blood pressure. Now we see the adverse effect. Adverse effect are nausea, constipation, bradycardia means decrease in heart rate, flushing due to that of the vasodilation it causes flushing, redness, headache and ankle edema. Hypotension is occasionally, and tachycardia it is absent. It can accumulate conduction defects and precipitate congestive heart failure. Interaction: verapamil should not be given with the beta blocker. It causes additive sinus depression, conduction defect or asystole may occur. Now see the first drug, it is a verapamil drug. It dilates both arterial and some alpha adrenergic blocking activity also, and due to that it decreases the total peripheral resistance, and blood pressure is only modestly lowered. The heart rate is generally decreases, AV conduction it is slow. Adverse effect, nausea, constipation, bradycardia, flushing, headache are the side effects. Now we will see the second drug, it is the diltiazem. Diltiazem, it is less potent vasodilator than nifedipine and verapamil, and modest direct negative inotropic action, but direct depression of SC node and AV conduction are equivalent to verapamil. Adverse effect are milder. Like verapamil, it also increases plasma digoxin level. Should not be given with patient with pre-existing sinus, AV nodal or myocardial diseases. Next drug, it is a nifedipine. It is a prototype of this drug and rapid onset and short duration of action. Nifedipine, it is the arterial dilatation, and due to that of the dilatation it decreases the total peripheral resistance, and hence the blood pressure it is fall. It does not depress the ST node or the AV conduction, but it causes reflex sympathetic stimulation in the heart and produces the tachycardia. So instead of bradycardia, nifedipine it causes the tachycardia. Adverse effects are palpitation, flushing, ankle edema, hypotension, headache, drowsiness and nausea, and this is mostly due to that of the vasodilation it causes the flushing. Nifedipine has paradoxically increased the frequency of angina in some patients. Safely administered with the beta blocker and the digoxin drugs. So understand, so simply in the calcium channel blocker drugs, you have to simply understand these are the drugs which inhibit the calcium channel, is simply inhibit the calcium mediated slow channel component in the action potential, and due to that it causes smooth muscle relaxation and negative chronotropic, inotropic and the dromotropic effect on the heart. So simply you have to draw the diagram this action potential. So simply you have to give arrow, and this is the calcium channel blocker drug. It inhibits these calcium channels. Now next category of drug are the beta adrenergic blocker drug. Some drug are alpha adrenergic blocker, beta adrenergic blocker drug. This drug inhibit the adrenergic response mediated through the beta receptor, and hence it called as the beta adrenergic blocking drug. The prototype of drug are the propranolol. Propranolol, it decreases the heart rate, decreases the force of contraction and decreases the cardiac output, and hence it decreases the blood pressure. Cardiac work and oxygen consumption are reduced as the product of heart rate and aortic pressure decreases, and hence it is also useful in the treatment of angina pectoris. So simply by inhibiting the beta adrenergic receptor, this drug decreases the heart rate and the force of contraction. The simply mechanism are beta blocker drug. It acts on the beta 1 receptor, and due to that it decreases the heart rate, decrease force of contraction and decreases the conduction of the heart, means from the SA node to the AV node, and also in the act on the blood vessels, it causes the vasodilation because of alpha 1 adrenergic receptor blockage and increase nitric oxide bioavailability. And beta blocker by act on the renin or the kidney through that of the beta 1 receptor, it decreases the renin release from renal juxtagramular cells, and due to that it decreases the renin angiotensin system, and due to that it decreases the blood pressure, decreases myocardial oxygen demand, decreases sodium and water retention, and all this effect, and due to that it decreases the blood pressure. So simply it reduces the noradrenaline release from sympathetic terminal due to blockage of beta receptor mediated facilitation of release process, and also it decreases the renal release from the kidney. Central action by reducing the sympathetic outflow. By all three mechanisms, these are the drug by which it is act. Now simply by this flowchart diagram, we can simply say that by the due to that of the sympathetic discharge, by the why you have to give both the drug beta alpha receptor blocker and the beta receptor blocker. Due to the sympathetic discharge, due to the alpha 1 receptor on the blood vessel, it causes the vasoconstriction, and due to that it increases the blood pressure. Now due to that of the beta 1 receptor, it increases the heart rate and increases the force of contraction, it increases the afterload, and due to that it increases the blood pressure and it causes the hypertension. Now beta adrenergic blocker drug, it blocks the beta 1 receptor. If it is the propranolol, it blocks both alpha and the beta receptor, and if it is a selective beta receptor blocker, it blocks this beta 1 receptor and it decreases the rate and force of contraction, decreases the blood pressure. If it is the alpha receptor blocker, it inhibits the alpha 1 mediated vasoconstriction and it causes the vasodilation, and due to that it decreases the blood pressure. So simply in the treatment of hypertension, you have to give the alpha receptor blocker, you have to give the beta receptor blocker, and you can also give the alpha plus beta receptor blocker such as carvedilol or labetalol. These are the drugs which is both action, alpha blocker and the beta blocker also. Prototype drug, it is a propranolol. It is well absorbed from orally and which has a low bioavailability due to the first class metabolism. These are some contraindication. Now see the next category of drug, it is called as the central sympatholytic. Now from this term means central means from the CNS or that of the brain, and sympatholytic means these are the drugs which block the action of decrease the action of the sympathomimetic drugs. So simply it is through it act on the centrally means act through the brain, and hence it is called as the central sympatholytic. Clonidine, it is the imidazoline derivative having the complex action. So simply clonidine, it is a partial agonist with high affinity and high intrinsic activity of at alpha 2A receptor. Now alpha 2A receptor are called as the presynaptic receptor. So simply uh, if the presynaptic receptor it is activated, due to that it is the autoreceptor. Autoreceptor means if the activation of autoreceptor, it decreases the own neurotransmitter level, means it gives the opposite action, means if it is partial agonist on alpha 2 receptor, it decreases the noradrenaline level. So simply clonidine is a partial agonist with high affinity and high intrinsic activity of alpha 2a receptor, especially alpha 2a receptor in brainstem. Major hemodynamic result from stimulation of alpha 2 receptor present mainly post-junctionally in the medulla. It decreases the central sympathetic outflow, means it decreases the noradrenaline level from the brain, and due to that it decreases the fall in blood pressure and causes the bradycardia. So simply student must understand that if alpha 2 receptor it is activated, because of it is a autoreceptor, means if autoreceptor is activated, it decreases own neurotransmitter level, and hence due to that of the alpha 2 receptor it is activated, it decreases the central sympathetic outflow and it causes the blood pressure and it causes the bradycardia. The plasma noradrenaline level it is declined. Pharmacokinetic, the clonidine is well absorbed orally. Adverse effects are sedation, mental depression, disturbed sleep, dryness of mouth, nose and eyes, constipation, impotence, sodium and water retention, and bradycardia because of the reduced sympathetic tone. So simply student understand that the clonidine it is the alpha 2a receptor agonist. Because of it is autoreceptor, it decreases the central sympathetic outflow, means decreases the noradrenaline release, and hence it decreases the blood pressure by acting on the CNS. Now next drug it is the methyl dopa. Methyl dopa it is a precursor of dopa, a precursor of the dopamine and noradrenaline. This dopa is converted into the alpha methyl noradrenaline. Alpha methyl noradrenaline it is a selective alpha 2 agonist formed in the brain from methyl dopa. It acts on the central alpha 2 receptor and decreases the efferent sympathetic activity. So simply such as that of the clonidine, the alpha methyl noradrenaline which is less potent than that of the noradrenaline, it decreases the sympathetic activity. Now second mechanism action, it is in large doses, this methyl dopa it also inhibits the enzyme dopa decarboxylase in the brain and the periphery, and dopa decarboxylase it is the enzyme, and hence due to that inhibition of enzyme it reduces the noradrenaline synthesis and false neurotransmitter methyl dopa in periphery as well as. So simply, methyl dopa is converted into the methyl noradrenaline. Noradrenaline is the neurotransmitter, but if it is converted into the methyl noradrenaline, it is called as the false neurotransmitter, and this mechanism is considered to be responsible for antihypertensive effect. So simply by the two mechanism, it inhibits the dopa decarboxylase enzyme and reduces the noradrenaline synthesis, and second it converted into the methyl noradrenaline which is a false neurotransmitter. Now adverse effect, sedation, lethargy, reduced mental capacity are common side effect. Cognitive impairment means memory, dryness of mouth, nasal stiffness, headache, fluid retention, weight gain, impotence are other side effect. Fever, rash, hepatitis, flu-like illness, thrombocytopenia, lupus syndrome may be occur. Now see the uses. Methyl dopa is widely used as an antihypertensive, especially in combination with the diuretic. Now see the next category of drug, it is the vasodilator drug. As the name suggests, it causes the vasodilation. It inhibits the vasoconstriction and it causes the vasodilation. Example are hydralazine. Hydralazine are the directly acting arterial vasodilator with little effect on the venous capacitance versions, and due to that vasodilation it reduces the total peripheral resistance and causes greater decrease in diastolic than the systolic blood pressure. So simply this drug are causes the vasodilation. Pharmacokinetic, it is well absorbed orally and subject to the first pass metabolism. The metabolism it is by the acetylation, means it has a slow acylator and the fast acetylator. During the metabolism in the some patient the metabolic pathway the enzymes some patient are the metabolized fast, some are the metabolized slow, and hence it is called as the fast acetylator and the slow acetylator. Adverse effect are facial flushing due to that of the vasodilation, conjunctival thrombing headache, dizziness, palpitation, nasal stiffness, fluid retention, edema and congestive heart failure. Postural hypotension is not prominent because of little action. Paresthesia means numbness, tremor, muscle cramp, rarely peripheral neuritis it is occur. Lupus erythematosus, it is again the hypersensitivity reaction, or rheumatoid arthritis like symptoms may develop after the prolonged use. It is now used as the second line alternative only in combination with the diuretic or beta blocker for patient not achieving target blood pressure with first line drug. Now next drug, it is the minoxidil drug. It is a powerful vasodilator and resembling action that of the hydralazine. And due to the marked vasodilation, it has the compensatory reflexes, increased renin release and causes tubular sodium reabsorption. So simply what is minoxidil? Minoxidil is a prodrug, means after it is converted into the liver into the active metabolite by sulfate conjugation, which open the ATP operated potassium channel. Since it is called as the potassium channel opener drug, it acts by hyperpolarizing the smooth muscle. So simply understand that when the potassium channel is open, it causes the hyperpolarization. It causes the hyperpolarizing the smooth muscle, and it used only in the life-threatening hypertension. So simply potassium minoxidil are the potassium channel opener drug. It is used in also in the alopecia. Alopecia means it is a baldness. Minoxidil has the side effect which increases the growth of body hair, and hence it is used in treatment of the alopecia. When it is applied topically, it promotes the hair growth in male pattern baldness and alopecia, and hence this drug means this is the drug in which the side effect which is used in the therapeutic treatment, means side effect it is increases the body hair, but this increase in body hair by using topically it is used in treatment of the alopecia. Now next drug, it is the diazoxide. Diazoxide, it is a potassium channel opener which has the arterial dilator are used in past for rapid reduction in blood pressure in hypertensive emergencies. Now next drug, it is a sodium nitroprusside. Sodium nitroprusside are rapidly and consistently acting vasodilator. The main action it rapidly acting, and it relaxes the both resistance and the capacitance vesicle. It reduces the total peripheral resistance as well as the cardiac output. Now what is mechanism? Sodium nitroprusside in the endothelial cells, it releases the nitric oxide, and nitric oxide it causes the vasodilation in the smooth muscle, and it relaxes the vascular smooth muscle. So non-enzymatically it is converted into the nitric oxide by the glutathione, and due to that it causes the relaxes the vascular smooth muscles. So simply sodium nitroprusside it converted into the nitric oxide. Side effects are palpitation, nervousness, vomiting, pain in abdomen, weakness, disorientation, lactic acidosis. Now next category of drug are the adrenergic neural blocker. You must know the drug Ricespin. It is alkaloid from root of Rauwolfia serpentina. It is the Ayurvedic medicines which causes causing the this noradrenaline release. It act on the membrane of vesicle which store the monoamine. So it decreases the noradrenaline, dopamine, and the 5-HT, and it inhibit the vesicular monoamine transporter. Simply by this mechanism we clearly understand what is the mechanism of the reserpine. So reserpine, so this is the biosynthesis and storage release of noradrenaline. Dopa is converted to dopamine. By this transporter, this dopamine is goes into the synaptic vesicle in which it converted into the noradrenaline. Now reserpine are the drug which causes it inhibit this transporter, and due to that dopamine does not convert it into the noradrenaline, and hence it decreases the blood pressure. Now next drug, it is the guanethidone. Guanethidine is the again this guanethidine, it is displaces the noradrenaline from the storage granules. So simply by this action, guanethidine, it displaces the noradrenaline from this synaptic vesicle. Now second action, it is inhibit the this nerve impulses couple release of that of the noradrenaline. The noradrenaline release also inhibited by this guanethidine. By these two action means it displaces the noradrenaline and also it inhibit the nerve impulse couple release of noradrenaline, and hence it decreases the blood pressure. Now last category of drug, it is the diuretic drug. In the blood pressure, due to that of the increase in the blood volume, it increases the blood pressure. So diuretic are the drug which inhibit the sodium and water reabsorption, and due to that sodium and water retention it is decreases, and hence it decreases the blood pressure. The diuretic chapter we will see in the detail in the next coming lecture. So simply you must understand that the diuretic produces the sodium depletion which leads to decrease in extracellular fluid volume and cardiac output, and hence blood pressure it is decreases. The diuretic are thiazide diuretic, then the aldosterone antagonists are the spironolactone. The diuretic therapy is indicated for treatment of primary hypertension. Thiazide type diuretic are the drug of choice. The potassium sparing diuretic are the spironolactone and the triamterene. So we will discuss detail in the upcoming lectures. Now see the last. What are these are the target of drug action, how this drug it act in the one diagram. The first, it is the centrally acting drug clonidine methyl dopa. This act by this act on the brain. This is the adrenergic blocking drug by neuron blocking drug. This is the alpha blocker, which is the beta blocker drug, act on the heart. This is alpha blocker drug, it acts on the blood vessel and it causes the vasodilation. Alpha agonist drug causes the vasoconstriction, alpha blocker drug causes the vasodilation. Aldosterone antagonists are the spironolactone. These are the diuretic drug. And calcium channel blocker drug, potassium channel blocker drug, and sodium channel blocker, nitric oxide donors are act on the vasomotor tone. So these are the drugs which are used in treatment of the hypertension. So simply student understand that these are the drugs which are used. These are student must understand that these are the category of drug also used in the various severe disorder such as the angina pectoris, cardiac arrhythmia, and congestive heart failure. So you must understand this category of the drug. So simply revise calcium channel blocker drug. By inhibiting the calcium channel, it causes the smooth muscle relaxation, and by inhibiting the it has the negative inotropic, negative chronotropic, and the negative dromotropic effect. By inhibiting this calcium channel, which is a slow acting calcium channels. This is the mechanism of calcium channels. Nifedipine, this is the beta adrenergic blocker drugs. Central sympatholytic. So simply understand that it acts on the alpha 2A receptor. Alpha 2A receptor, it is the autoreceptor. Autoreceptor means when it is activated, it decreases own neurotransmitter level, and hence there is decreases the noradrenaline level, and due to that decreased sympathetic outflow means decreased noradrenaline release or level, there is a fall in the blood pressure. These are the vasodilator drug. I hope all the students understand this topic, antihypertensive part 2. If any student have any query, you can ask in the comment box. Thank you.